Congratulations, you found the house of your dream and it's time to write your offer. And like the great Don Corleone says, make him an offer he can't refuse. And you should do the same. Guys, welcome back to How to Buy a Home in New York, this series. And today we have step number 7, how to write an offer to purchase. So how do you make him an offer he can't refuse? Well, first, let's look at the 5 major components of submitting an offer. Number 1, and this is the purchase price. So how do you come up with the purchase price? Either you or your agent is going to look at past comparable sales. So what's sold from now up until 6 months prior. That tells one side of the story. That's basically telling you what's been the trend of what buyers are willing to pay, either increasing or decreasing. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The next thing I recommend doing when selecting your purchase price is look at the properties that are under contract currently and look specifically for how many days on the market this property was. Theoretically, the lower the days on market, the higher demand for that home. So if you see multiple homes that have gone under contract in a short amount of time, that's telling you that the market was in hot demand. Here's the last piece of the puzzle to this. You're going to look at what's active on the market and what has an accepted offer and what doesn't. And again, the faster homes are getting accepted offers, the more it's telling you homes are in demand. So what does this all have to do with the purchase price? Well, based on this evidence, you're going to determine what is a realistic purchase price for the house. Not what are you willing to pay, but what is the fair value purchase price. Remember, a home is no different than any other product, and supply and demand reigns king. If you have more buyers than homes for sale, prices go up. Economics 101. My college teachers would be proud of me. Second component, your mortgage down payment. If you're paying cash, you can skip ahead to the third component. Down payment on your mortgage. Sellers are going to look at this. They're going to look at number 1, what's the product you have? Number 2, what's the down payment? Theoretically, the more money you could put down for the mortgage, the better your financial situation looks. Might not always be the case, but that's what it looks like on paper. The more money you can put down, the better your financial situation looks. The other thing you could do is allow the seller to contact your lender so that way they can have a conversation about, even if you do have a low down payment, maybe you have a really strong financial situation. So that's always another option to use. Third component, how much money are you putting down at contract signing? This is kind of like how much skin do you want to have in the game. So if you're only willing to put down 1% at contract signing versus the guy that's looking to put down 10% at contract signing, well, on paper, again, the 10% guy has more skin in the game. It looks like a better deal. 1% would make me nervous as the listing agent. Basically, if the buyer wants to walk away, all they're losing is 1%. Whereas if somebody has 10% down, they stand to lose a lot more. So you want to make your offer look really good? Make sure you're putting down as much as you can at the contract deposit. Most people do 10%. But if you want to sweeten your deal, put down more. If you can't put down more, then it is what it is. Now, a seller, and I'm sure you guys will agree with this, they're going to look at this as the more skin in the game the buyer has, the better the chance that they're going to close on this. Okay, so if you're shopping or you need assistance now, then please click the Calendly link down below to schedule a 15-minute call with myself or a member of the team. And if you're tired of Realtor, Truly, and Zillow and blah, 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 then go ahead, click the link for my app below. It's free and it works in every state around America. Component number 4, contract contingencies. What are they and do you need them? Well, they're kind of put in place to protect you as a buyer. So some of the common ones you're going to see are inspection, appraisal, mortgage, and clean title. Inspection. You can waive this if you'd like. I don't recommend this because without this, you don't know what you're getting. Now, you could do something a little different where your inspection could be for knowledge purpose only. However, you're not going to come back and ask for any reductions or negotiations. What I find is most people that say they're not going to, they either do or they walk away. So you could use that. So inspections. Second one is your appraisal. If you waive your appraisal contingency or if you don't have one, basically what's happening is if the house doesn't appraise for the amount that it's supposed to, the amount that you're buying it for, then you have to come up with the difference in cash. Okay? Mortgage. Basically, this contingency says if at any moment in time you cannot obtain a mortgage for any reason, you can walk away. And the last thing, clean title. That's saying that there's no violations, the house has a CO, there's no other lien holders that can come and try to get money from you later on. I recommend having all of them in there. You can sweeten your deal by removing a few if you'd like. The most common ones I see people take out are the inspection and the appraisal contingencies. And again, contingencies are put in place to protect you and the down payment money you put at contract signing. So really think about what you're going to choose and what you're going to waive. And number 5, closing date. So, do you need to close right away? Are you flexible? Typically, if you can allow the seller to close at their leisure, it makes for an easier deal, and there's a better chance that your offer will get accepted. Some sellers have extenuating circumstances where they can't leave in the next 30 to 45 days. And if you're okay with that, then this might be an opportunity to win a house. Now, also keep in mind, in New York, we're an on or about state, which means if you're scheduled to close January 1st based on the contract, that's your closing date, your on or about closing date. What that means is, hey, yeah, it's great. You can close by January 1st. If not, you're allowed up to 30 extra days to close before time of the essence is issued. So really, I always say if you're going to look at a contract and there's a closing date in there, always add an extra 30 days because you may or may not need it. Either you may or the seller may. Either way, that's the way. Dr. Seuss, baby. 1 cat, 2 cats, 3 cats, 4. Red cat, blue cat, green cat, whatever. And again, being flexible just kind of makes things easier on the seller. And the seller's looking for the easiest deal possible, usually, and they're greedy a lot of times. I'm going to be honest. Sellers can be greedy, and they're always looking to make that extra nickel, even if it means making things harder. An extra nickel for the bus, I guess. Okay, so now that you know the 5 major components of submitting an offer, what can you do to make your offer an offer he can't refuse? Well, waive all your contingencies, pay cash, close in 30 days. I'm kidding. Kind of. The way I put it, okay? There's no science to this. I always tell my buyers that it's really dependent on your situation. If you can afford to waive your appraisal contingency because you have cash lying on the side and it won't put a burden on you or your family, then go ahead, do it. If you happen to know contracting in and out, so carpentry, electric, plumbing, the works, and you want to waive your inspection, well, maybe you can. So everybody's different, and I never put a buyer in a situation where they're going to potentially overextend themselves. When submitting your offer, when putting it together, always think in the back of your mind, worst case scenario. It's real estate, man. Anything can happen. And when it gets accepted, congratulations!
Yes, a hit is rude!
A word of caution to this tale.
Excuse me?
A little dramatic there. But an accepted offer in New York is not legally binding. So remember, until both sides execute the contract, any buyer can come along and take the house. It's happened many, 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 many times. So until then, make haste. And as usual, if you want to be notified when step number 8 comes out, boy, I feel like we're flying here. How to negotiate your offer, okay? So you just learned how to write it. Now it's time to negotiate it. Go ahead, click subscribe, turn on alerts, and I shall see you next time. Bye-bye.